Welcome, everybody, to our Monday night empowerment session, where tonight we're going to be talking about the aspect of the Solle Vital that is known as the prime chlorophyll blend and the amazing power that it brings to this combination. But as always, if you would like to receive text reminders to know when I'm going live 15 minutes beforehand so that you don't miss out, all you need to do is text the word LEARN, L-E-A-R-N, to the number 1-866-256-1970. And with that, let's jump in here. So in our Solle Vital, one of the three different aspects of it is the multiphylum prime chlorophyll blend, and that is made up of chlorophylls from 4 different plants, one being alfalfa, other being nettle, mulberry, and then spinach. Now, this is made even more powerful by the fact that once you realize that not only have we combined these 4, but most chlorophylls that are available out there now don't have alfalfa in them, whereas alfalfa used to be one of the main and primary sources that we got chlorophyll from. Alfalfa, and of course, when you're pulling the chlorophyll, which let me remind you, is that part of the plant that makes it green. It's where the photosynthesis occurs and the interaction with the sunlight to create basically the plant's lifeblood. Now, alfalfa, not only are we getting chlorophyll out of it, as with all of these plants, but alfalfa is known for its remarkably high amount of trace minerals. So when you pull the chlorophyll aspect out of it, of course, you're going to be bringing some of those minerals as well, because it's just going to happen. And so that is one of the things that makes alfalfa more expensive of a source used for chlorophyll, along with the fact that there was, maybe in the last decade, they started running into challenges with having not only non-GMO, but truly organic alfalfa available. And a lot of companies quit using that for their chlorophyll because it became cost prohibitive. However, I believe that it is one of the components that makes this blend so powerful. Now, of course, as always, with our blends, we don't just pull out the chlorophyll. We're using an even more concentrated chlorophyll extract that we can get. And then there's 2 different types of chlorophylls that are in there, which also make it even more powerful. But a lot of companies have started shifting to, like mulberry is one that is fairly common that people are using, that still brings tons of benefits to the table, but not the full potential and power that happens once you not only add alfalfa, but then when we do this combination of these 4 different types. Now, what exactly does chlorophyll do, and why are we so excited about it? Why do we reach for it? And I will tell you, I've been using chlorophyll for years, and I see I've missed not getting my last item covered on this. So we'll start with that when we jump in there. So chlorophyll is so amazing because it's alkalizing to the system. And therefore, because it's alkalizing, it helps to counteract that acidic nature that is happening with inflammation, therefore reducing pain. And so remember, inflammation is going to be swelling in that area. Why does the body do it? Well, it's doing it to protect it. It's bringing in, different blood cells. I mean, the whole process that the body goes through, it is a healing aspect of it, saying we have an injured area, let's bring in the ambulance, let's bring in all the necessary components to help heal. Well, in that swelling is pain. So when you bring in chlorophyll, it helps reduce that. So one of the other things it does is it's helping to counteract those toxins. And toxins are by nature fairly acidic. I mean, you have toxins that are, more the heavy metal components, but because it's helping to, notice I say counteract it. So toxin, the body will often sequester that if it can. Otherwise, it becomes a source of irritation, a source of contamination, a source of, just dragging down an organ or a body area. So the chlorophyll cleans that. It helps the blood do its job better as well. Because chlorophyll is this amazing alkaline substance, when you take it internally, it's going to help clean and deodorize. Many of you heard me talk about how when we eat our food, I mean, we eat it usually because it smells good. Unless you're in a situation where you're just getting what you can, like a survivor situation, you are actually eating something because it is appealing to you. And things that don't smell good to us, we don't tend to eat because it's not appealing. Well, chlorophyll helps to counter that when the bowel does not have its transition time like it should, which is, when you should be eating, 2 to 3 meals a day, having the bowels eliminate 2 to 3 times a day. When it stays in there longer, which the most extreme I've seen is every 6 weeks. It's very common for people to tell me that are new clients that their bowels are moving once a day, once every 3 days, once a week. So the longer that's sitting there, the more toxic it's becoming and the more odor that it's picking up. Well, the chlorophyll is helping to clean that. And not only that, so people start to notice that the bowel movements are not smelling so bad once they get caught up, but they also notice a green color that is showing it because chlorophyll, just like in the plants, is impacting our body and adding that green tint in there. Chlorophyll is excellent at supporting the liver. It just helps the liver do its job. And basically, if you think about some of these components I've already mentioned with chlorophyll, any of those areas or organs that it's supporting is doing it by helping to alkalize and helping those toxins to be able to be moved. We've used it many times to help prevent kidney stones. And again, kidney stones can be caused by multiple things, but often is tied to the consumption of acidic or things that have an acidic residue in the body. And the reason I say it that way is many people know that if you eat lemons, they're acidic when you eat them, but it has an alkaline ash residue in the system. So we're talking about things that cause an acid component to collect in the body. Sugar is a phenomenal example of things that cause acidity. Well, that can tie into that inflammation. We add in stress, which is you burning of our B vitamins. And yeah, you're going to have some genetic tendencies towards that, but really it's more our lifestyle also that is creating that issue. So chlorophyll helps to prevent kidney stones because it's supporting the kidney and being able to do its job, and is helping to alkalize. Often, if you think about it, there is a unique smell or odor that we notice when we go into nursing homes. Well, one of the reasons that we smell that, and it's more of an ammonia smell, is that the body has gotten so acidic that it is now robbing calcium and other minerals from the body to keep that acid from destroying the kidneys on its way out. And that creates that ammonia smell. Well, drinking the chlorophyll helps to counter that and lessen that load because you're already starting to alkalize the system. It's one of the reasons it helps the kidneys to work so well. It's going to help things heal faster and sores. So when I've had people show up that they were dealing with someone with bed sores or MRSA or just not healing in general, again, that's another benefit of that alkaline component, but it also supports our blood amazingly and helps have cleaner blood, which means it's also going to bring nutrients to that area easier because we don't have as many traffic jams going on. We talked about the odors in the bowel. Well, over time, it can help counter odors of the actual body. So bad breath, underarm odor. The body should not be having displeasing odors. That is an indicator that something's out of balance, or it can also be an indicator that someone's detoxing and moving some of those old toxic residues out. It helps to keep bacteria from settling in wounds. It can also help with bacteria, for instance, like mononucleosis. When people would come, that chlorophyll was one of the things we would always use. Once I got vital is what I turned to, because you guys know the adaptogens that are in there, which are going to help the body deal with the stress from that. It's helping challenge nasal drainage. Again, nasal drainage is an indicator that something's out of balance and the body's pushing and moving out something out of those sinuses that is an irritant. If we're helping the blood, which by indirectly supports the lymphatic system, we're also supporting the kidney system, then we're not going to have as many acids that are overwhelming the nasal pathways and causing that drainage. We talked about the alkalizing in the body already. Anemic conditions can help me support with this. Whenever I used to cycle, I always would drink extra chlorophyll whenever I was on my cycle. Same with my daughters. I taught them that. Now, everyone just reaches for extra vital. Chlorophyll is well known to be very similar. In fact, it's like one molecule removed from matching what blood is. So for people who are not keen on blood transfusions or are literally hemorrhaging, we've always known that we could be dumping lots of chlorophyll in the system to help counter that and help the body to recover faster. It helps with a sore throat. That ties back to the mono. Think about it too with help challenging bacteria and helping things heal faster. So if we have a sore throat or any type of passageway down the esophagus, by drinking chlorophyll, it's alkalizing as it goes down and helps to stop that burning. At the same tone, it's going to help with ulcers in the system, because why are ulcers? One of the reasons they're perpetuated has to do with the acidity that ends up being in that area. Now we know stress ties into that, and we know that a component of vital is the adaptogens that helps to counter stress. But the chlorophyll is one of the things that's helping to the body to heal the condition that is resulting from the stress. And of course, there's an H. pylori bacteria that's naturally in our system. It gets out of balance, and when we have an ulcerated type condition, and it's much stronger in there. So that helps to counter that as well. Catarrhal discharges from anywhere in the body, because you are supporting, again, the pathways of elimination with something that alkalizes the toxic nature and the acidic nature of those toxins that have accumulated in the system, and it becomes very thick. Catarrh is a very thick, like dried up mucus that where the body has grabbed and just it's put it there to hold on to something. And the longer it's there, and of course, the less water we drink, when we don't take care of ourselves, the more cells in, it gets to become a very hardened condition. So chlorophyll can help move those. And then finally, it is very supportive for the vascular system in the legs. And if you think about it, how it supports our blood formulation, how we're supporting the kidneys as well. And again, we've literally only touched on a few of these. There's many, many more benefits that come from chlorophyll. But when you lessen that burden on that, then the body works more efficiently. And therefore that system is not as overwhelmed and backing off that added burden that can cause what we commonly know of as like varicose veins, or maybe we've got edema, and that's happening in the legs because the body's not being able to filter and sit and shift things along. Now, of course, are so vital. One of the amazing things is these packets that it's in. And I got very excited about this because if any of you grew up using the other types of chlorophyll, you'll know what I'm talking about. So one of the things that happens is the freshness, because, you know, we did look at how do we want to bring this to the consumer. And we realized by having it in a powder form that we're protecting it from the elements and being the oxygen for exposure, that's going to be much more fresh and then much more potent when you mix it up right then and on the spot. So wherever you go, you've got it there, it's fresh, it's ready to go, and it has a consistency over time. Now, chlorophyll in the bottle was never very user-friendly for a couple different reasons. One being it had to be kept in the refrigerator once it was open. So you had to remember that it was there. It was very messy. Chlorophyll is green, it stains. I was forever having to deal with chlorophyll stains in my kids' clothes, you know, dumped on the floor, you know, because accidents happen, things like that. And heaven forbid that I needed to go on a trip or something, because it was not easy to, I'd have to leave it behind. This is travel friendly. It makes life so much easier on the road. And I have relied on Solle so much. For instance, one of the things that I notice when I travel or start to get a little overwhelmed because there are kidney issues in my family is I notice this lower backache that can start. And I know that my kidneys are asking for extra support. That often happens with, again, like when I'm traveling. So it's so easy for me to automatically take extra with me, have it no matter where I am. Can you imagine if I was in a restaurant and started to notice this pain? It's not like I've got my cooler right there with my chlorophyll, pulling it out. We're running out the car to get it. All you do is reach in my purse, pull out one of these packets. I'm good to go. And I'm immediately being able to address the issue, because that's one of the things that I talk about is being aware of the body when symptoms start to present and jumping on them to address them when it presents. So vital, or the chlorophyll that's in the vital, is amazing. Now, this quote I thought was perfect. The food you eat can either be the safest and most powerful form of medicine or the slowest form of poison. Chlorophyll is a food. It's coming from these plants. We've got it conveniently packaged in this little packet so that we're not having to cart around barrels or buckets of all these leaves and plants, and we're making better choices because of the user friendliness of it. And this is just one aspect of it. Next week on part 2, I will be talking about the plants that bring the additional mineral component and the benefits that come with that.